Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal Golden and I have some pine here to help clear the energies and to welcome those with a light heart and following the light heart path, and just taking some deep breaths to center ourselves and to prepare myself for this video. I think this is going to be a little bit longer than the usual videos because I want to get into not only my reading, I have my tarot cards in front of me to do a little bit of a reading for the collective for this Pisces full moon, blue moon that is upon us. It is currently August 29th, so tomorrow that moon energy will be really setting in. And I also just wanted to tell you all a little bit more about myself and why I do this, why I am a tarot reader, and how I got into connecting with these energies, connecting with the universe and Earth, and when it started, and just why I enjoy doing this. I'm going to actually start off the reading first because I feel that if you are here right now, you might be more interested in that. I don't know, but I'm going to do the reading first. And I have this deck right now. It's called Midnight Magic by Sarah Richards. And then I have Amazonite here as the crystal if you tap into healing crystal energies. So this is an interesting full moon, or blue moon as well, because not only is it a blue moon, which this one is the second full moon of the month. The first one was August 1st when we were still in the sign of Leo, and now we're in Virgo, and this full moon is in Pisces, which is the exact opposite sign of Virgo, and it's very interesting. And there's a lot of intense energies that are asking us to... Pisces is the energy of the dream world or the psychic world, or any metaphysical aspect is attributed to Pisces energy. And then Virgo, being the opposite, is all of the tangible physical reality. Everything that Earth has to offer is represented within the Virgo energy, within that foundational expression of what Earth is. If you think of fruitly bodies or just abundance and prosperity, everything that you can tangibly gather and receive within this realm is represented by the Virgo energy. And the entanglement of these energies, they balance each other, as the whimsical, mystical energy of Pisces is the turning point where we let go of what it is we have no control of, and the Virgo energy is learning how to control that which is best for our individual path. So, tarot deck shuffled. Dear Source, Universe, angels, guardians, guides, and ancestors, please help me give a card for what this blue moon is bringing for the collective. And I have Five of Swords reversed with the Empress reversed. Having two reverse cards, I read reverse cards, some people don't, but I take the energies sometimes, especially this reading, as looking within and looking internally and turning your focus into your own energy and figuring out and learning about what your energy actually is reading. The Five of Swords reversed, which is interesting because upright, the Five of Swords typically means there is a hard energy coming towards you. There is some kind of shift in energy that is going to disrupt your flow, and it might cause some overwhelming anxiety within your mental space. But as a reverse card, the energy is moving opposite. I feel that we're entering a time where it might feel a little uncomfortable, but we are recognizing that these shifts are actually bringing in the transformation that we need, that we are receiving a lot of mental downloads, or we're just thinking a lot, but it's a lot, it's not as confusing anymore. It's all of the puzzle pieces are slowly starting to come together, and we might not have the full picture yet, but we have the border, and we can see an idea of what realm we're entering, or like how to foresee, or we can better visualize the path that we're all headed towards. And the Empress reverse is kind of the Empress upright is the energy of nurturing and embodying your natural emotions and allowing them to guide you in a more sensual way. You're allowing these energies to flow freely. And as a reverse card, it's interesting because it might feel the turbulence a little bit more, or you might be called to listen to your subtle, like not necessarily the creative force within you, but the creative force that's guiding outside of you. And we're being pushed to recognize how our internal world is reflected on the external world, and that there is this ebb and flow between feeling where you need to push your energy more, or where you just need to surrender and relax and allow the external world to take lead, but understand that you are a part of the external world as well. Like if you set your intentions and you ask for what you want, and you focus on what it is that is going to be best for your own growth, and then surrender to however it's supposed to show up for you, the universe will take its lead and work with the energies that you gave to allow those energies to cycle around to be projected back to you. We're learning to navigate through the patient times that we have to endure, those slower times where it feels like we can't do anything, but when what we are doing, like the surrender and taking time to rest, and that is giving time for the potential energy to turn into the kinetic energy that we need in order to actually receive it. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting flow of energies here. Everyone, I feel like, is leveling up in an understanding of what they're supposed to be doing, and we're all taking on new projects, it feels, or figuring out what the next project that we want to do is, and it's all just slowly but surely making its way into this reality. So getting into more about me and my personal story, I am a Virgo rising, an Aries sun, and a Cancer moon. And my life has always been different. Like I've always felt like I connected to source or spirit energies, and I've always felt very sensitive to other emotions, others around me, and the environment around me. Since I was a child, and I've always been a creative spirit. I've always loved drawing and art and writing stories, and I've always felt that I talk to spirits or ghosts. Like, there are definitely times in my life where I didn't do that, where I felt disconnected, but looking back and remembering as a child, there was always a natural instinct to feel the energies around me and to understand them on a deeper level. And I have a little note here for all of the points that I want to make, so if you see me look down, just making sure I didn't forget anything. So I will give a lot of my credit to the growth of my spirit and soul to my grandmother, who always was also connected to spirits and always believed in ghosts and angels, and she was always really into astrology and horoscopes. Not like super in depth, but like she would have fun looking at horoscopes in newspapers or magazines. And when computers became a thing, we would always be looking online to just read about different, mostly my sun sign. I'm an Aries and she was a Libra, so we always had that dynamic energy too, because those are both opposite signs as well, similar to Virgo and Pisces. And her sister, my great aunt, she was a tarot reader, and the two of them were very open-minded and lighthearted, and they always, it never seemed, there was never a question in my childhood whether spirit was real or not. They embodied it, and they showed me that it is real, and it always was, like, magic was just a natural thing in my household or in my reality as, excuse my neighbors, as a child. And I don't know, I was kind of not really religious. I was introduced to Sunday school as a child and then around, but I never really felt super connected to that story. I always had a lot of questions, or it just didn't seem to truly fit with my energy. Like, it didn't resonate with me purely, I guess is the term. I don't know. I was raised Methodist. And then around 3rd grade, my parents gave me the option whether I wanted to go to school or not, and I just didn't, Sunday school or not, and I just didn't feel called to anymore, so I fell off of religion and didn't really have any spiritual connection, like the traditional spiritual connection. Like, I would have it in the background of my mind, like especially with my grandmother and with my great aunt being a tarot reader. I was into more astrology, I guess, but it still wasn't the forefront of my day-to-day life or who I wanted to really pursue. I always found it interesting, but it didn't seem, I still didn't really fully, not believe in it, but it just wasn't, I wasn't ready yet. And then in my senior year of high school, I graduated a year early, so my junior and senior year were combined. But I took a class called Comparative Religions, and it basically went through all of the history of religions back to, I think that they started at like Zoroastrianism, and just kind of briefly went over all of them in a way, it wasn't very super in-depth because there's a lot of different religions that they were having to cover within a semester of a class. But what I took away from it was realizing how similar, like I was never really introduced to all of the other religions until this point, and didn't really understand how similar all of their stories, their like foundational stories actually were. And I made the connection of how they're all basically the same story but from different perspectives, and everything just started to make sense to me more. Like that's when I really initiated my understanding and channeling of energies then, like how they're all connected, and that I can use my intentions or how my perception of energies to direct what I'm receiving of, like how I'm interpreting it. And also that's when I started really started to really understand yoga and meditation and chakras, because one of the parts of the comparative religion class got into Buddhism and Hinduism, and so the chakras and meditation really inspired me in a way that no other religion or spiritual path ever did. So I really started taking chakras and meditation very seriously, and then I reconnected to my tarot cards that I forgot. My great aunt actually gave me my first deck of tarot cards when I was 13, and I just held on to them until I was around 17 years old, when I realized how much they could help me understand what energies I need to heal within myself. Like I could read the energies of the card and align them with my chakras and interpret how to heal myself, or how to work with the energies that are off balance to help realign them. And so I took about a year of, and then I realized that healing crystals were a thing. This was when I was around 17, or like the summer after I graduated high school. I always knew that like crystals were a thing in this world. Like I knew that diamonds were a thing, and rubies, and I knew that crystals were a thing, but I did not realize that their energies were like able to be tapped into, and that they had this transformative aspect to them, where you could work with them and work with their energies with your energy. And from my understanding, the geometric molecular structure of each individual crystal aligns with a different energy that works with your chakras, and they can help transmute any unaligned energies within your body, in your light body. So I started initiating all of this. This was when I was around 17, and really, I guess that's when I first really awoken or whatever. And then I just got really sick. February of 2016, I couldn't breathe. I thought I was just having the worst lung pain and coughing a lot, and it was kind of leading up, like it was a couple months of me slowly getting sick, but it didn't really hit me how sick I was until February. And then I went to the doctor, I think once, and they didn't have any answers, just sent me home with some medicine or something. And I kept continuing to get worse until March 2016. I think it was St. Patrick's Day, and I was just not breathing well at all, and my mother finally drove me to the hospital, where they figured out that I had chronic lung failure from rheumatoid arthritis, which I knew I had. I've had this autoimmune disease since I was 10 years old, but it is such a rare case for it to actually start breaking down the lungs. Basically, rheumatoid arthritis is inflammation, and it inflamed the bronchial, this is all scientific terms, I'm not gonna pronounce correctly, but the bronchial, the tiny little air capillaries in my lungs, it expanded them from the inflammation, and then they collapsed on themselves. So going into the hospital of St. Patrick's Day 2016, I had about 20% of working lung function. And immediately I was put onto breathing support. I'm gonna also say all this wrong, but this was the initiating of my near-death experience. I went into a coma essentially because of how little I was breathing. At first, I'm pretty sure that they put me into a medically induced coma just to save myself and from having a heart attack, because my heart was overworking and I was just not eating. Like, none of my food wasn't being held down. Like, I was way underweight, like 60 pounds, 70 pounds maybe at most, very underweight, and I was dying. I was in the hospital and there was an option for a lung transplant if I could get healthy enough and put on weight, but they weren't going to go through the process of putting me on a transplant list if I wasn't healthy enough to go through the procedure. So the next month of my life was me trying to build up my body. And I went through very hard nights, where there was a night where I genuinely, I died. Like, I could not breathe, and they had to put me under and put me in incubation. And there was a moment where I remember I left my body. I felt free of this body, and that I was in the realm of spirit, of soul. All I saw was this white bright light, and I didn't feel my physical body, but I could feel my energy, and I could feel this connection of myself to everything around me, to source, to the great energy that gave me life. And there was a moment where I telepathically felt this option, and it was like, you can either move on now, move into your next life, or you can continue in this life, in this body, and go back onto earth and to help those by spreading the love and the knowledge, the universal knowledge that you have within you. And that was the message I received, and a great understanding that, like, I have this ability to speak and to share with others my perspective and my experiences. And I wanted to go back in this body and in this lifetime and to experience what this earth has to offer now and what I could share with this earth. So then I woke up back into this body. Like, I felt this, like, shove, like this push, like, when you're in a dream and you feel like you're falling and you kind of like just shake awake. That's almost what I felt. Wasn't as intense, but I felt this like pressure of, I guess, my spirit being put back into this body. And I remember waking up and being like, I'm here and I have a mission and I have a bigger purpose here. And I've always kind of felt since I was a child that I'm meant to do something big here, whatever that may be. And this moment was a confirmation to me that I have the power to survive this hardship, this lung transplant, this problem that I was having, and to show others that they also had this ability, that no matter what you're going through, as long as you believe in yourself and trust your power and trust your ability to connect with source and the universe and to feel what the universe has to offer for you, when you connect to these energies and to trust the process, it all comes in alignment. And it's like, the more you allow it to happen, the more you believe in it, the more that energy can be cultivated. So in the hospital, I began talking to my nurses and stuff about chakras and yoga and meditation, and explaining to them my knowledge of how it helps me feel less anxiety, or it helped me feel more creative, more energy, more love, more communication, more visuals, like being able to see my imagination more clearly. All of these things are in alignment with the different chakra points, and I was teaching my nurses all of these things, as well as painting more in the hospital. I've always been an artist, but I didn't really take it seriously until I started painting out of boredom in the hospital, and all of my nurses were saying how amazing I was and that this should be something I should pursue. And I said yes in my head, or I said it out loud too, but I was saying yes, I am an artist, I am a metaphysical artist, I am here to create and to show others through my art of both traditional art and metaphysical art of reading energies, how we can all use these energies on our own individual way. Lost my train of thought for a second. So yeah, I started getting into painting more and tarot. Once I got out of the hospital, I really was ready to take tarot reading seriously, and took about like a year, I think, or maybe 2, of just studying the deck, and to really, like, I would draw a card, at least one card for myself every day as a daily reading, until I understood every card in my own interpretation. So that way I considered myself not necessarily I don't want to say master at it, but I was well adept in understanding each card. And then I began my tarot page. My I think it was originally the Golden Crystal or something like that. Like, I had a different name when I first started my Instagram tarot page. But yeah, I realized how much it means to me, and how much fun, or how it gives me a really just, it feels so good to help others understand the energies around them, and when they're going through a problem or a situation, or just they don't understand where they should be going or what they should be doing. I love being able to have this ability to pull cards and read those energies, being able to interpret them in a way that really connects with others. And I 99% of the time have had amazing feedback. People love being able to hear what I have to say, and I feel like I always teach them something new, and I learn from others every single time. I love connecting with other tarot readers who show me different meanings and different interpretations, and it's always a confirmation or affirmation that we're all on the right path, and we're all doing something special with our energy, being able to show others what they can do as well. So I think that covers my story a little bit. I know I said a lot, and I probably have more I could say and more things I could dive into. I have other experiences. I have weird alien stories. I saw a blue sphere ball when I was like 7 years old. I've seen stuff crawl through my TV, like weird energies. I can sense energies around me. I've always have. I can feel when I walk into places and they're haunted. I have seen weird UFO type things in the sky or whatever. I have a lot of different experiences and stories. So those are for another video though, or if anyone else is interested, please comment below, and I would love to share those stories that you're interested in whatever you're interested in. Yeah, I think that is all for today. I am so grateful if you've made it this far into the video, and to all those who are watching. and subscribed. I will have all of my links down below for my art and tarot reading. And yeah, I hope you all have a lovely day, a lovely blue moon. Drink your water, especially because it's in Pisces, it's a water sign. And don't be afraid to dream bigger. There's always something greater out there for you to achieve. Just gotta follow your heart, and it's possible. Love you all. Bye.